for the small unorganized merchants, probably the data, the transaction data is very powerful to underwrite. But when we go into slightly larger merchants, right, there we need to get into where you're looking at larger ticket size business loans. There is a whole lot list of other documents and data that we need to collect, right? Now, a lot of this collection today is offline. Right? Offline, or there is a cumbersome process of collecting these documents, right? How do I increase the scope of, again, SMEs, right, or larger organized merchants? How do we get more and more data within such a format where it becomes easier to access the data and underwrite them, right? So I think that's another part. One more I think is, see, one is, I think access to data. Second, I would say is the last mile distribution. While with Aadhaar, with identity, payments, that is UPI, and then the data layer DigiLocker being built on top of each other, that has helped in the last mile distribution. I think we still have some way to go there, right? And some of the innovations that we see like UPI Lite or UPI 123, which is enabling people to use feature phones, or even in a low connectivity, right, access UPI payments for small ticket size like 10 rupees, 20 rupees, right, kind of transactions. I think there, the products or innovations are there. The idea is how do we improve the penetration of those. The second I would say is that.
Got it. So let me pick up on the point you made on medium-sized merchants, right? So I think the entire growth that we see at Bank Bazaar is predicated on fully digital. So whether it's a co-branded credit card or a personal loan, the entire process takes 2 minutes anywhere in India, in and out, video KYC, you're done. I think you're pointing out it's harder with medium-sized merchant. Now, is the problem the underwriting data, or is it the KYC, or is it both?
I think it's a combination of both, right? But I would say if the KYC or the data is to that extent very easily available, you don't need to struggle with it, then, you know, as a player, right, you can then completely focus on underwriting, right? And it's, you know, if the data is available, then any, let's say, NBFC or a fintech as a LSP can access that data. Then the factor to distinguish between them is how strong your underwriting stack is, right? How strong your tech stack is. I think that should be the differentiating factor, not just the ability to get the data within a short period of time or getting access to the right set of documents. I think today there's a lot of time or hassle that is spent in just doing KYC of these merchants or getting access to the right set of data. If we can solve that, then the player can essentially, like player like us, can just focus on underwriting and can be really technology driven there.
Yeah, in terms of improvement, somebody once told me that if you have to dream big, so I'll ask for something really big. See, UPI once more, as I said, is one of the most fantastic technologies that has been developed in the world. I want credit on UPI. India has already started it with RuPay for banks, but we should not stop there. I mean, there are only 55 million people with a credit card in India. There are 800 million people with a smartphone. I see this as an opportunity to give credit cards to 800 million people. And that's the next logical step we need to take. And I would expect and exhort both NPCI and RBI to provide us with an enabling framework so that credit can be offered on UPI rails. And look at, I mean, in India, we today roughly have probably 7 million POS machines, whereas there are 200 million QR codes across 30-40 million merchants. So you're talking about 10 times more or so in terms of merchant reach, and 16-20 times more